Hi guys, welcome to Sons of the Cane YouTube channel. This week we're going through Kev's journey and it's the kick part.
As you can imagine, being a double cane user and a wheelchair user, we're going to have a bit of adaptation to do on this one.
See you after this.
Right, what we've got for the red belt, our first belt, is what we do the linear kicks. So for us that would be Kingeri, Maigeri, which would be snap and thrust, back kick and side kick. There's various variations on these kicks depending on the system. So what we do is we're introducing linear kicks for this grade and then what we would call radial kicks for the next grade. But at the moment, so when we look at Kingeri, we'll be looking at a cat stance, Nikoashi dash, and it's just literally the flick to the groin. Okay, I'm not going to go in depth with these, it's just so you understand what I'm talking about. So we'd be in our guard position, whatever your guard position would happen to be, but it's just bringing the knee up, flicking to the groin, and coming back down into a ready position. Like this. If anybody's groin's that high, I'm not attacking them. Pull me up the back. Oh, that's good. Good tag. Bill's not bringing his women anymore.
Are they coming next week? Well, not that one.
Well, they can come on Tuesday if they want to.
Yeah, I'll have a
But yeah, I do want to come up.
Again, variance on this. Whatever suits your style, your ability, that's fine. Front middle kick, again, pointing at the target, knee to the target, kicking, retracting. There's the snap version and the thrust version, depending on the situation. In the pad. You're tilting every part of your body the wrong way. Side kick, again, very many variants on this. But again, linear kick, if I do it off my front leg, up, I'm using the power from my hip to thrust down. Being an Okinawan style, we tend to keep low kicks, but we do practice them higher. Last week he wasn't bouncing. And then again, our finally would be back kick. So back facing the target, seeing where a target is, front leg, then comes back, retracts. Obviously I'm not going to kick Kev doing that, but it's just to give you an idea. You can see kicking videos on YouTube, whatever your style is. Obviously I'm not doing them very well because I'm just giving you an idea of what we're talking about. If if you've never seen them before.
Oh, rotation.
However, wheelchair user or somebody with limited mobility, obviously you need to change and get the principle.
Okay, with my disability, obviously I've got no power in my legs, and I'm racked with pain from basically knee down and knee up. So if I look at the Kingari kick, as Chris said, it's just literally the foot lifts up and a flick out towards the groin. As you can see, most of the time I sit like this in the chair or I sit like this. So from here, with the crook facing outwards, it's just that strike. It's just a wrist coming through to hip. Again, depend on your wrist. If you've got a learner that's got, say, wrist issues, it can be a lift. The principle is that I'm aiming to get that. It doesn't have to be powerful. All it is a deterrent. The person's coming up to you, they're being threatening, and that's just a stay back. Now when we come to the next kick, Chris just demonstrates it again quickly.
So what we're looking at, front kick, again, whatever your style is, so it's literally at the target, as it says on the tin, leg forward. You can do it off the front leg, the back leg, jumping, whatever suits your style. However, for us, we're just doing a simple basic front kick.
Right, so with me, to come up here, the arms on the wrong side, very sort of, it's easier to come up and just jab. You get the power from the hips coming through, your core, and again, a deterrent. Stay back, keeps the distance. You can then go into other strikes or whatever you want to do. If you've got a shoulder issue, you can use two hands, or you can just use a downward crook. Depending on your range of motion. For me, it's definitely to come up, I'm away.
Yeah. To distinguish between the snap and the thrust on this, you can either just get the cane and actually push through the target, or you would do a quick strike and retract the cane quickly. So you can distinguish between your snap and your thrust techniques. Okay. Obviously, back kick, wheelchair. Again, this is probably where you're going to get some altercation. So from here, it could be anything, attempted lift, but just to practice what we need.
We've got the ability, canes here, just to bring it through and just give them the poke. Not very effective, but maybe just enough to stop them from grabbing you. So if Chris loses the pad a second, slowly comes in for a grab, it's just causing the distance. Yeah, from there, I'll then come in for different bits over the head maybe. But just for the principle of that back kick, I can hear a noise behind me, he's coming up with it, no. And it's enough just to cause that split second where your attacker stops looking at you as a victim and starts looking at you as an opponent.
Okay, exactly the same principle for side kick. There's thrust side kicks, snap side kicks, skipping side kicks. But however, again, it might be coming in from the side, probably to grab the shoulder, exactly the same principle.
With this, I can aim for solar plexus. I can go higher for the throat. If the arm's coming in, I can come up under the armpit and push away. That's a pretty sore area to hit with a cane, to be honest. It does cause a lot of pain for the opponent. If my crook's on this end and he's just coming in, it's just a fan. That's all I need to do, is just enough to stop him in his tracks, get the distance again. If my brakes are off, I can then face the opponent and I'm ready to go.
So it is a good idea to practice these against a pad. I've seen, we were talking about this earlier, people who've never actually done any contact in their life blocked their first punch and then was on the floor crying in pain. They've never had any contact before. So talk about the principle with your student, find their level of ability, mobility, but get them to actually practice striking. So here, from this position from the side, again, there's a lot of force in that through the cane, and it's enough to give you time to then think, what's my next move going to be?
You always have to follow up, and as we teach principles, this is the first part of a chain of events that we will then carry on to do. But it does depend on the learner, their range of motion. Can they get their arms up to a certain point? Have they got power going this way, or have they got power going that way? So work with your learner, find out what their most powerful move is, and then adapt principles around it. Well guys, that's another video on my journey into karate, and that was the kicks and a bit of the cane. If you'd like to see more about my journey, it's the tile above. If you want to see anything about the CaneMaster system or my journey in CaneMaster, the link below.
As always guys, subscribe to our channel, receive notifications, and as usual, let us know what you think.